going part two because they interrupted my broadcast. And we are talking about guilt and survivor's guilt. We're also talking about the guilt that the parent or the person it happened to is racked with guilt. Hold on, I'm going to let this build up again because we just... I don't know how many viewers. You know how many viewers your viewers. Let's start again. Hello. Can you invite people in here? I'm sorry, but I'll blame it on Zuckerberg. Again, he's got a habit of interrupting my broadcast. There is a trigger factor with this broadcast, and if anybody has any difficulties within this broadcast, please do seek some support. I'm willing to have a talk with somebody and wind that down at the end of it as well, because this is a topic that it is a guilt topic. Guilt. We're racked with guilt, aren't we? We're racked with guilt, and it's not our shame. It's not even our burden to bear. Can you invite? Because I don't know what happened. The broadcast was just gone. Hold on. I'm going to invite. Hello, are you still here? Oh, great. I don't know what happened there. I want to invite. So can you invite? If you can bear with me whilst we build this back up, because I lost reception. Broadcast got cut in again, but it is important. Just bear with me. Then don't let me rush it. Just bear with me. I need to relax on this and also say what I've got to say, because I tell you what I need to tell you off a personal experience. I cannot speak for everybody, but I can assure you that I've been in a place where, racked with guilt, kept secrets, didn't know what to do, didn't know who to say, didn't know what to consciously do and say to people. But I can only tell you, I'm a human library. I can only teach you from experience. I'm not you, you're not me. But I want to tell you that I share with you many things to tell you. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. None of it is your fault. So bear with me. I have just completely piled out my list, and let's get back to it. Guilt. Where do you want to start? Which one do you want to start at? Let's go from children keeping secrets, masking secrets for their parents. Let's go with that. You know, children, adults. I'm going to place a human being in the same box. A human being has been abused. A human being has had something done to them, something very traumatic. Hi. So, hi, Nicole. Invite people in, Nicole, from your page as well. Those people that don't understand or haven't known, just invite, share. What we've got to do is spread awareness together. And I'm not going to talk I'm going to just focus on what I'm saying now. So as a child, children grow up many years of having and masking secrets that destroy the inner soul, that destroy the inner child. And from my personal experience growing up, I didn't tell anybody because I thought it was the norm. I didn't tell anyone because they conditioned me into secrets, into guilt, into blame, into nobody will believe you, into if you tell anyone, we're going to do this and they're going to do that and they're going to take you away. Or there's always blackmail behind these talks. There's always blackmail behind it. So then you move through life with a dirty, great secret. So you plod through, not thinking first and foremost that's the secret. No, what's going on now is you are masking the secret with behaviour problems, drinking, associating with people, giving away your bits and bobs and gambling and all the things that are associated with misery and depression. But you want to tell someone, and the person you should tell is your parents. But I can understand why you wouldn't. I can deeply understand why you wouldn't tell your parents. Because you want to protect them. Equally, the parent wants to protect the child. So the expectations are there, aren't they? And what a child's relationship should be with a parent or with a friend or with whoever. The expectations are there. But you don't tell anybody. But when they do find out, they feel helpless, useless, and they are racked with guilt. I'm going to read something from Susan. Oh God, I've tried 8 years for my child to be throbbed off twice, and yes, it took many years to be seen. It's shocking, and I always openly speak to her, and she started talking back. They said anxiety, and that's not the case. So there are reasons for people masking secrets and having anxiety and panic attacks, etc. But I want to tell you, as a parent, as a mother, which I am, I would dread to think that this happened to any of my family. But it has happened to my family. I won't mention names. Way up in the past, it's getting to the point where then a mother is very guilty about not being able to save her children. And should she be guilty? Is it her fault? Is it his fault? Should they? I don't believe it's anyone's fault. I believe that if I have to say, honestly, we all play a part in the role of our upbringing to our children, and we do our utmost, but we're still children, delivering children, or having children, or trying to figure a way how to be a parent. Is it your fault that a perpetrator has put hands on your son or daughter? No. However, you have to take some responsibility of why he or she may just hear them out. First of all, I don't want to blame anybody. Hear your child, but your child needs to speak to you. It doesn't matter what age they are. It doesn't matter if they're a young child. It doesn't matter if they're 50, 60. Hear that person, and don't ever, ever say they're making it up, because it's a very horrible thing if they are making it up. But always give someone the benefit of the doubt that it did happen. What can you do? You can't change it. You can't go backwards. You can only be there now and try and understand and comprehend. Right, it makes common sense now that this is why your behaviour was like that. Okay, you can't blame yourself for your child not coming, because they wanted to protect you too. So equally, you want to protect your parents. They want to protect their mother, their father, and you want to protect your children. It isn't your fault that a perpetrator has done this, put his or hands on your children. It isn't your fault that they have done that, unless you know. And if you really do know, then you have a duty of care to yourself not to accept abuse or physical abuse or any kind of abuse. If you are seeing or witnessing something like this, you log it, you find help, and you give somebody help. You research what you need to research. But you know what? If you have got that son or daughter or mother in your life or father in your life that has been through a traumatic time, do not, and I cannot express this enough, do not let that perpetrator steal any more of your joy. Not your daughters, not your sons, not your life. Do not let them take any more of your joy. Because what's going on here is they may have stolen a piece of joy or your body, but they cannot steal your mind. Never can they steal your mind, only if you let them. But what you're doing is you let the outside world into the inside world, meaning all that guilt, that's not for you to be guilty. You didn't commit the sin. You didn't do that. You didn't commit the acts of crime. You didn't scar someone for life. It is not your fault. Build bridges with your loved ones and don't let the perpetrators into your family circle. And how you can do that is go on a date, have and talk, but don't bear somebody else's shame for their act. It isn't yours. What you can teach, though, is the next generation and any other mother or father that you come into contact with. Never be ashamed. Don't accuse, but you can share the awareness. And there are many ways to share the awareness and to protect other people's children. Maybe they don't want to hear it, but if people are drinking around the children and stuff like that, this is all where it's going to start from in the first place. This is where it's going to start. Put down your liquor in front of children. Put down your alcohol in front of children. Cope another way. Talk. Talking therapy is the only way. Talking is the only way. If you say you can't do something, please don't say you can't do something. Do what they say at school. Take the T off. Everything is possible. You can do everything. But here you go. If you want to use the word can't, I can't allow a perpetrator to take any more of my joy, any of my family's joy, any of my life, any of my time, any of my energy, or any of my headspace anymore. We can't change what they did. Revenge, you can live a life in revenge all you like. And this is one of the things, people don't tell you things because they're worried if you're going to do revenge. Revenge, you would make you as bad as them, as guilty of them. And again, when you do revenge, you are the one that has to live with the consequences and the guilt for the rest of your life if you injure anyone. So revenge, leave that to the experts. Leave it to the police. Leave it to the domestic violence units. Leave it to the crime and rape unit. Leave it to these people. But you've got to speak out. And I know it is disappointing when the authorities you turn around and you tell them and they say there's not enough evidence. I understand that. How disappointing it is. You want to have faith in the system. You want to have faith that they will help you and they will sort it out and they will take matters into their hands. After all, that's what they're there for. They're there to protect and serve the public. But when the system sometimes, in many cases, your case is not upheld, it feels like you're not believed. It feels your whole world could crash down because you wanted them to believe you. And that's the horrible part about leaving things to the authorities to rectify. I'd like to think that they do their best. I'd like to think that they do try, but lack of resources. Not everybody can stay on the case, as you know. But I want to let you know that a piece of paper is never, ever going to amend what these people have done. No piece of paper is ever, ever going to replace the hurt and the pain. Getting someone locked up is not. It may keep them from hurting other people temporarily, yeah, but it's never, ever going to be a satisfactory outcome. But the best way you can live your life and have a satisfactory outcome is know that you are not racked with guilt. Know that your conscience is clear, for you did no harm. That's the first rule of thumb. First, do no harm. But make sure your conscience is always clear and you do no harm. So what you need to do is you need to live your life. You cannot change that past, but you can grow and find a new and better relationship with your parents or with your loved ones, with your spouse or partner. Be honest and open about your feelings before. It is not your guilt. It is not you. If they ask many questions, it's only because they're trying to figure out, how did this happen? How did I not see it? Why didn't I spot the warning signs? Believe me, a perpetrator knows how to hide things. And also, so do us victims. But I want you to be a survivor. I don't want you to be a victim. Victims, that's what the perpetrators want. They want their victims. That's what the evil wants, victims. You need to be a survivor. You need to not let them take any more of your life and be the example. You can use your testimonies to speak out. You don't have to harm them in a way where you're calling their name. What you need to do is stand up. Stand up and be counted. Stand up and be counted. I'm a survivor. You may have took my body, but you did not take my mind, and you have no space for me anymore. But thank you very much for the experience, good or bad. I will use this to go forward, for I am a survivor, and you did not claim me. Guilt. The only person that should be guilty is the one that committed the crime, not you. Build bridges with your loved ones. Don't do the blame. Just do the understanding. Know that you can't change the outcome, but you can change to new beginnings. So go and date your family members. Go and understand. You don't need to talk about the whole thing. You just need to know it happened. You cannot do revenge for your child or for that person. This is one of the reasons people do not want to tell you. Because if they wanted to revenge, they would have done it themselves. But they absolutely know it's illegal. It's illegal. Leave it to the authorities. And I'll say it again. If you are affected by any of the conversation that I have had tonight, I am willing to have a conversation with you, so please do get in touch with me if you want. This is me. I suggest that if this conversation has any triggered off your memories, again, breathe through it, because there are going to be many times where you're going to hear the same words, abuse or child abuse or all of the horrible words that has happened to you. Breathe through it, claim your space, and know there's no room for their negative energy. It's just a moment, it's just a season, it's just an emotion, and it will pass if you hear certain words. Own your space, own your time. It's not your shame, it's not your burden to bear. Offload it, speak about it, educate, save the younger generation. Help your friends. Safety plan. That's what you need as well. A safety plan if you're in the midst of any of this, or you suspect somebody is being abused in any shape or form. Please do log it. Please make sure that you get your facts right. Don't gossip it. Log it and put it to the right people. Put it to the right people. Just because they say don't say nothing, make sure you be the one that you do say something to the right people, because they might not want to do anything about it, because they may be scared again of the repercussions. So always make sure that this is done correctly and sensibly, but you do have a duty of care to prevent this. And as long as you've said something that makes you not a part of neglect, not a part of it, stand up for your rights. Make sure that if that was your child and anything happened to your child and your friends are saying, please don't say nothing, please don't say nothing, but it was your child, you would say something. The friend that is telling you is still somebody's child, no matter what age they are. But it is their duty, it is up to them what they do and what they want to do in their life. But if there is immediate danger, you do have a duty of care. But just talk it through and ask what people want to do about it. If they do, some people say I don't want to talk about it, but that not talking about it is maybe it's their way of dealing with things. But know that they should always have a choice, that you're not judging them, that you can comprehend, but you may not ever understand. But you've heard these stories, so you can gather the emotion. Okay, so you may not understand, but you may be able to gather some kind of emotion. It's not your burden to bear. It's not your kid's burden to bear. It is your responsibility, even as a mother. And even if they are a mother, once they're a mother, you really do need to talk, because they are an adult. But look, just protect yourselves, please. You have no room for them people at the end of the day to take your life. No, they've done what they've done. But they can't steal your mind. Don't let them. Do not let them take any more of your time or your energy. Don't do it. Talk about it. If you've got the courage to speak up and speak out, I suggest you put that sorry, I got sidetracked with reading. I suggest you put that energy into helping other people, because talking about, when you help other people, it really does help you. It helps you overcome. It actually helps you accept things better. But I'll start again. I was trying to get the recording on my phone of the question that I asked in 2016. I'm only now trying to come to terms with why, and it adds up, my behaviour over all the years. I'm only now coming to terms with everything really that actually has. It all fell into place. All the patterns of behaviours all falling into place. Where did this go? How did this happen? How do they manage to abuse you? How do you get into a rut? Well, we can go on to domestic violence another day. We can go on to child abuse another day. But right now, we were talking about guilt. Anyone that abuses you, anyone that puts their hands on you or does you wrong, name calling, cyberbullying, any of that, you name it, whatever hurts you, if you are kind, you didn't do it to them. It is not your burden to bear. It is not your place to feel guilty. Don't feel guilty, because then they've got the power. Know that you were just a human being who just wanted to get through life uninjured, but somebody came to try and wipe you out and to knock your self-esteem down and to tear you apart and to mold you into what they wanted to create. No, they don't get to steal any more of your enjoyment. So if you are watching this, do not let them steal any more of your enjoyment. Build those bridges with your family, people. Do not let them come in between your family bond, not your burden to bear. And I'm sure that when you talk to your parents, no matter how old they are, they've got horrific stories of themselves, of their own. Maybe they haven't spoken about things. Maybe they didn't talk openly and honest. But they better learn to start talking openly and honest, because whatever is expected from you needs to be coming from them too. So it's a two-way street. We are human beings. We do have labels, I'm afraid. They're called all sorts of things. Your first name, your second name, your last name, but we only have one identity, and we identify ourselves as a human being. And the minute somebody crosses that margin and hurts another human being is the minute they become an animal. Not your burden to bear. Take care. God bless. I'm on the other side. So if you want me, here is our numbers. This is suicide prevention, 0777 060 1567. Bear in mind I have a life too. And you have the crime prevention if you are in any difficulties, and rehabilitation if you want any help with anything. And that is 07399975696. You can get us, you can write if you want any help. If you don't need, I understand what it's like to want to go to the police. I understand that. I understand losing faith with them also. I'm not going to sit here and big them up, because, I've just had a case that says not upheld either. But you know what? It don't matter. I gave it a good go. And I did speak, but I'm not going to waste my time and energy on it anymore, because at the end of the day, it steals your enjoyment, doesn't it? And I'm not having that, because then that's the perpetrators stealing my enjoyment, taking my time on crap that I can't change. Take back your lives. If you are in any difficulties and you don't want to go to the authorities, but I do advise that you do regardless, always log it. You can communicate through our line, and you can get us at the website, which is info.mom, M-O-M, project.co.uk. That's how you can get us right here. Okay, we have many stories. If you have a story that you want to write in, please do give us that story as well if you want to, and we will publish that on our website. Yeah, we're here. And if you are in Woodbridge area on the 10th of September, we are outside Costa Coffee, and we are there for a chat and a talk and raising awareness. And we have a registration if you are looking forward to if you want to learn how to get better, if you are working in front of house also and you want to learn how not to make errors and recognise what you need to recognise and learn, and there's more to life than paperwork. But if you're looking for a package where you want to get well and have a workshop, we are doing a 6-week workshop. It is going to be packed with things like, how do I tell somebody that I have mental illness? How do I date someone? How do I tell my family? There are so many levels that we are going to be covering, and we will have absolutely footage for both those that are waiting on the NHS mental health list and they can't get seen. Those members that are in here, obviously they can have that too. And also then the other aspect, if it's front of house training that you want, we will be giving you that as a package 2 for 1, which is crime rehabilitation and suicide prevention. We will be giving you that training. I give back. I won't have anyone say to me, I don't know what I'm doing. I know what I'm talking about. I've done this journey. I've been beside people. I know at the end of the day that life, no matter how hard, Dika said it yesterday, no matter how hard it is, you're going to have the ups and downs. You're going to think back on those kind of issues. But, you can block. I used to have visions of this person that come through my face all the time. Visions of it. Every now and again, I flash back to the things that they've done. And I look at it, that they must be the ones that are broken. Because in order to give that act, in order to do that act of committing hurt onto another person, they must be the ones that are broken. They got to be the ones that are broken. You've only got to look in the relationships. What is their relationship like with their parents? What is their relationship like with their friends and family? And you'll understand it. It's very easy how you can mask things. No room for guilt. You got nothing to be guilty about. You have not. If you were guilty, you'd be behind bars. It's them that should be behind bars. But no amount of bars is ever going to stop the guilt that they've got to live with. Do they know? Of course they know. I'm running out of light, ain't I? Of course they know. Hold on. Hello, yes, I'm back now. It's getting a bit dark now. You're losing me there. Of course they know. Of course they know. They know. Racked with guilt. They know what they've done, but they continue to do it. It becomes a habit of what they're doing. A habit. They get off on it. They've now trained themselves. They've learnt it from someone. They've trained themselves. Whatever the issue is. And I can talk about many of issues because I've had the childhood abuse. I've had the child, but I won't even call that abuse. I'll call that rape. I've had the domestic violence. I've had the victimisation. I've had the discrimination. But you know what? I'm still bloody standing. And as long as I'm still talking, as long as I'm still walking, I'm going to let you know that it is not your fault. It's not your child's fault. They haven't told you either. And it's not your mum or father's fault that It's not their fault. So please don't be wrapped with guilt. Terry, what you're saying, amazing video, important advice. We are all survivors. Self-blame and false guilt has no part in my life. Hold on. I am no longer a victim, nor will I enable my perpetrator to take any of my family as victims through their own self-blame. The only one guilty is the perpetrator. Like you said, don't let them steal your joy. Life is moving forward. Don't live in the past, and you're the only one hurting, you know. Back. Take your power back. Guys, good evening. If there's another topic that you would like to discuss, please do that. I could talk for hours. I could talk about certain topics, but I think it's enough. I want you to, at the end of this video, that, yeah, you may be thinking, if you can't talk physically with the person that you want to tell, you can put it in a letter. You can put it in a letter and explain it that way if you can't physically speak. But if you don't even want to tell someone, and I always think you should, because it's not your guilt. The more you talk, the easier it becomes. And then you understand that these things were just never your fault in the first place. Okay? Take care. For the last time, EastEnders is coming on now. And you see, even that, secrets destroy. You only got, even though that's false, sometimes that's a true representation of people's lives in how they mask secrets, and you can understand why they would, because there'd always be some kind of big explosion, wouldn't there, with an argument, etc. So that's why people are afraid to tell you. If you feel that you're going to go and take over how they're feeling, and take matters in your hands, what that does, it escalates the anxiety and the panic in the person that just confided in you. And then they think, oh my God, I was worried about that. Now I'm worried about you going to go and hurt them, and then you're going to go into prison, or you'll do something. All of these things are the things that we think about. We think ahead of time what we're going to lose. I want you to understand what you're going to lose if you do not understand what somebody has just gone through. Just listen, allow some time to explain. And guys, don't feel ashamed to tell someone. It's the best thing you can do, and get that hug out of them. Hug it out. Take care. Have a great evening. Mom is the word, and that means mind over.